Hello, and welcome to some more Satisfactory, where we are gazing out over the falls. We can't quite see the falls because I've got my positioning wrong, my factory. But yeah. So my name's Trismegistus, and in this series, I'm trying to complete the game as much as you can at the moment. And well, last stream on Friday we explored the swamp and the Spire Coast. I also mentioned all of the new things you can unlock in the man. I have done a bit of work since then. I've unlocked pretty much all of the new stuff. So in theory we could, if I build one of the, they seem to have split things up a bit differently. They've sort of rearranged it, I think. Because some of the things are in here and some are not, basically. So yeah, I've unlocked all of the stuff, basically. There's literally the only thing... No, they're not in here, are they now? The only thing that I haven't got is... Here we go. So we got all the Nobelisks, all of the rebars, all of the new ammo. I just did it, you know, in my haphazard, random buildy way, you know. What I really need to do is set up turbo fuel, because turbo fuel is now... I bet that's in there, isn't it? Whoops. No. There we go. Turbo fuel, I think, is it listed in here? No, it wouldn't be listed because it's a fluid. So turbo fuel is now unlocked via the MAM rather than getting a technology, I think. And there's also one... but yeah, so I really need to set that up because I'm desperately running out of fuel for the old backpack. Why have I got that backpack on? Oh no, I haven't. I got that. But yeah, all the stuff is done. Apart from, could I just build a man? Or is it only one per? Oh, I could build one. So yeah, so literally all of this is now unlocked. So I got all of everything. You know, so there was all. Caterium had another one, didn't it? I can't remember what it was, but mycelia was a real pain because I think they've changed. In the desert area, it doesn't seem to respawn the mushroomy things. They look like cactuses to me, but it counts them as mushrooms. So I was driving around for ages trying to find a mycelia because you need some to unlock like these. But there's now also synthetic polyester fabric. I don't know if that's new or that was used to be an Alter recipe, but I can now make fabric with plastic basically, which is a lot more convenient. I've already made like 300 just easily because you used to have to use mycelia and biomatter before. Quartz was already done, so the one that's missing, the one I haven't done, is nuclear stuff. Now the reason I haven't done it is because, as you can see, you need nuclear fuel rods, and I mean I've got hundreds of Nobelisks, so that 500 is not really an issue for me. But the you need nuclear stuff, and I didn't have. Well, basically, I've turned on the nuclear power. Let's see if I can get a. We're over at the concrete factory, as I say. We're gonna try and get this switched on. I'm anticipating it's going to be a complete disaster because I'm using trucks to bring the limestone in. I've been and set up all of the stations, the truck stations. In fact, I could show them on the map, couldn't I? So all of these here, this means that I've tapped them, basically. So those are all tapped now. I also found that there's 2 coal. Those are both pure coal as well, so there's a lot of coal in there. But there's and I'm belting the coal over to these 4, if you can see them, these 4 docking stations. And I've put a ramp at a much more gentle gradient up there, so the trucks can hopefully get up. I'll show you the other bit in a minute. But what was I gonna... I can't remember why I was coming over here. Oh, power. So I've switched on the power. I also put some batteries in. So we've now got some sort of backup battery for if and when that goes tits up. I've basically got a whole stack of industrial storages, sort of stacked one on top of each other, and like 4 rows of them. So there's about 16 of these stacked all together, just storing the nuclear waste, which I'm sure is a really bad idea. But they're sort of 10 by 8, so there's 80, and each stack is 500 for nuclear waste. It appears to do a thing, though, that it's cumulative. So the more nuclear waste is stacked together, the further away you get impacted by radiation, which is not really how radiation actually works. So it may be a bit of a trick shot to manage those. What I'm anticipating is that if we do end up filling them, and as I say, the power goes out, and then I've got, the batteries start, because there's I put loads of batteries in. It's basically enough to run the base for about about an hour, I think, something like that, depending on how my maths is. But yeah, so we can basically dash over. The reason it's doing this is I also put a geothermal on, because there's one next to there, and I didn't know this, but geothermals actually the power goes up and down. It's like fluctuates, so it's a minimum of 200 and a maximum of like 800. So we might get I might get more of those on geothermals, because there's quite a few on the map actually. But yeah, so what I was thinking of trying to do is setting up the trucks. So we need to get you out of the way. It makes a zip noise, and I don't quite understand why. It's like you're zipping something up. But yeah, so this is all sort of ready to go. They've actually introduced a thing where you can copy and paste. Oh, I guess I could show you what I haven't done. This is the end of the building. I'm intending to put some signs on here, is what I was thinking. To show what it is, maybe. I've punched a hole, because the other thing I want to do is put this glass one in. I say this appears to be a hidden recipe. You can't actually select this without searching for it. It's not in the default list, but I can show you the roof as well. It's not that interesting, because I've not gone that nuts with it, but we've got the old skylights on, which is why I want the glass roof. I put a little thing there. I was thinking what I could do is put a whatchamacallit on the top. Radar tower. We could put this on the top, but I don't think I've got any crystal slots, so I'm not sure. I wasn't sure where to, because they're quite big, but apparently they're better if you put them high up. But yeah, these are the skylight, like the heat escaping, although I've got a glass floor in the way, so that's a bit weird. But this is what I guess I could just show you. I mean, as I say, it's exactly the same on this end as well. This is the sort of observation deck. No, don't run out of power. What I'm thinking of doing here, partly because I hate the way this mismatches, but I'm thinking if I put let's just do one of them. I say if you do. So on here, as I say, if you put these foundations, glass foundations aren't here anywhere, but if you do a search, glass, then one of them in the list is the glass frame foundation. So what I'm thinking, I'm not sure which way round I want to put it yet, but I'm thinking put one of those in, or across there. So it's like one of those floating things. Unfortunately, there's not actually a lot to see. And I get rid of them. I put that on the end instead. So it's like a glass observation deck. I do need to fill this end bit in. I completely forgot. Yeah, also I sort of experimented with lights, so we can do this. So there's lots of little cosmetic things that we can do. For if and when I get really annoyed trying to get the trucks to work, basically. But there's a thing you can do with the machines now. You're always able to go in them and copy. And if you just hit Control V, paste. But you used to have to do that in the machine, and now you can do it from outside. So I'm just hitting Control V. Oops, I actually copied that by accident. So it saves you a bit of messing about, basically. You can't hold the button down, so I can't hold Control V and have it apply to all of the machines, you see. You have to click it each time. That's the next step. We'll get there eventually. Might be worth rebinding that, but it's standard copy and paste, you see. So it's a lot quicker, is the thing. But it would be even more convenient if I could just hold down Control V and do them all as I fly past. But yeah, I need to put numbers here, and I need to put signs on, and blah 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 blah. So we do the windows. Maybe I'll do a patterned side to it. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, there's loads of aesthetic things that we can do. But what I really need to do is try and at least set up one of the trucks. The difficulty is that I kind of have to practice the route, I think, because what I'm intending for these to do, these are 4 drop-off stations, and they're all hooked up to so there are 4 of these, and they're all hooked up to a different one of these. There's no balancing going on. So each row of that has a separate docking station. So I need all 4 to run, and before I was messing about putting a great big ramp going down here, and I hated it. I was putting it in, and I just hated it. So instead I've come up with, I say, really I should do something to support, make it look like this is supported. I think I've grown weary of that. But I put this sort of corner ramp in instead, but now I'm going to have to have all the vehicles travelling the same route, which could just be a disaster. Plus with these angles, there's a real risk that it's just going to throw the vehicles into the abyss. Now they would recover, but as I say, I don't know. I don't think it's going to work. Is basically the point. Especially here, there's this. You see how that there's not. I mean, it's sort of flat, but you can't walk up it. It's just, I don't know. But yeah, so I put all this in, the intention being that the vehicles will drive around. But as I say, then I discovered that that's not a thing. So I'm guessing the trucks will hit it and just go flying as per usual. I was hoping to use this, but the route round, and we could try that. The route round is problematic because you can't squeeze the truck through this gap. Well, you can. So if I sort of fake build one, you see how it just about sort of goes through? But it's a bit of a, you've got to get it exactly right. And I'd need to blow up these rocks and stuff as well. But the clearer route, it goes all the way up here, which is great, Nice and clear route. We could go around here. Unfortunately, it plops you out here. And here, there's a cliff. So, where we want to be going in... Oh, I guess I'm close enough to the round line. But is across here. So we'd want to go up this bit around there, because the entrance is over there. But all of this rock is in the way. Oh, there's a rock pot here. I've also been harvested that one. I think I put the other thing on. Let me just jump down. But yeah, so I was sort of, puzzling what to do, really. It's also it's not quicker. It's still quicker to drive, but because we can wear the legs and the, rocket pack and also the gas mask and the radiation suit all at the same time, I've been just running around. I haven't been using the vehicles because they're so buggy. Which I say is why I'm expecting this to be a bit of a disaster. But here we go. You see, so I've hooked it all up, basically. These were nominally here, but I've created a little ramp, hopefully, so the trucks can drive up, and I've hooked up coal into all of the things. I've even coloured the things in to match the the thing. So, but so this is the one I want to use for testing because it's right here, and the idea is they're not all gonna drive round and visit all the stations. This one is number 1. Oh, it's just called... Has it not taken the name? Huh. Oh, no. Oh. I had it crash, and I couldn't get out of that menu. It's really buggy. I was a bit surprised. Oh, it's not taken the names. I renamed all of these so that I'd know which one was hooking up. But it's not kept the names. I mean, it lets you rename them. So I assumed it would keep the name. Yeah, it's just called them docking station again. I did that to help me set them up basically. But yeah, I've hooked the coal in, so I'm just going to grab some coal and put it in the thing. I say we'll see. I might just pop this on. I can fly over the corner here. Oh, was I not close enough? Okay. Yeah, I think this looked good. Or they could do with putting some like extra corners in and stuff, because some of these are a bit rubbish. So I think I was going to have the one at the end be the closest one, just because it's got least furthest to go, if that makes sense. So what we want to do, and I'm going to have multiple trucks on every route. It's gonna be a disaster, isn't it? So what am I doing? I'm using record. I'm going to start the recording. Close that. And then have the truck go around here. Whoops. Just, I mean, I don't think there's enough room here. And also what I mean about having to find the route. Oh, I meant to do that. This is just going to be a disaster. It's going to have to, I think it needs to be a one-way system. Because the trucks are just going to crash into each other. I suppose it'll probably work, when I'm not here. So if I come over here and it starts actually simulating the trucks really. Oh, I just got out. Was that it? I wonder why. Okay. And then this one drives back round. I was blowing up rocks and stuff trying to clear them out. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do something with having them go round that corner. Oh, it didn't seem to be fussed about that. That lip. They've also started doing the thing, they used to do it ages ago, where the tyres effectively treat the edges of the concrete blocks as like surfaces, so the tyres jump into the air, basically. Ugh. Wait, is that set on the wrong thing? Why is it doing that animation? Start recording. Okay. So I hop out. This should be unload. Bum. Shouldn't E get me out of those menus? Are these all on? Oh, that's really... I don't know what's going on there. It's really unresponsive to E. Oh, so this is what caused it to crash before. So, don't I have to put enable autopilot? And then I get out. Okay. But what's this? Are there two nodes there? What's that? Because I want it to wait like at least 5 seconds. Probably more like 10. We'll see if it comes back and what it does. Because it's only a short trip. So amazingly, it's moving. I was a bit sort of like, I would come over here and see the truck basically flinging itself into the abyss. I can't. The problem is, well, the problem I think is going to be that when they're if two trucks are close together or interact, another truck on this route will be fine because there is some sort of collision detection for that. But they're all going to be driving. You're going to have 8 trucks effectively at least driving up here and driving along that bit. So they're going to be coinciding with each other and only avoiding a couple of trucks each time. So they're bound to hit each other, basically. Especially on these, this whole bit here. At least it's climbing the thing. I was a bit worried because these trucks basically they can't even drive like up the 4-meter gradients. They're really bad. That's what I'm saying about practicing the route as well, because I'm not convinced that I don't need to sort of carefully, work it all out. So what I want to know is it unloading? Oh, it is. That animation is clearly not it actually unloading it. That's obviously nominal. Uh-huh. A bit puzzled that it had. I suppose it would have 989. Does that make sense? Because that's the other question. It's taken 10 fuel, 10 coal, to go from there to there. So that's 10 coals a round trip. So is this one too far? Because if that's 10, then that's going to be like 50 maybe. So that could be like 100. So we could try testing that as well. I wonder why it's not kept the name. It feels like this release was maybe put out a little bit too early. Trying to stick too closely to the date rather than, I'm puzzled that nothing is happening here. Oh, of course I didn't. It's not nothing happening. It's just all of these belts are wrong. They need to be like level 7 belts, basically. Not level 7. Level 5, isn't it, the maximum? So it's probably not even arrived yet. This is the secret shame of the base, basically. It's all hidden. Basically, I put all this in working around it rather than... I mean, stuff's happening. It seems to be. there's actual concrete. The machines are working. The machines, they are working. Actual concrete. Actually concreting. Look at it all. Ooh. Looks like I might have vaguely maybe hooked it up properly. These won't work because there's no steel. But cool. Okay. So let's see if we can get the next vehicle to work. I forgot to grab even more coal. I suppose it wouldn't hurt for me to recce the route though. I've missed a bit of concrete there. So let's go and do that. Oh, yeah. So it's done another trip, hasn't it? So we could also upgrade the belt. You know, that is a thing we need to do. But you see what I mean? So I think what I really need to do to try and minimise interaction between them is maybe like come over this hill or something, or come through here. But you see what I mean? It's so tight. I can just see them crashing into each other all the time, crashing into the rocks all the time, getting stuck. But it'd be a better. It would minimise the two routes interacting. I have to think about that. So the next route then, obviously currently down and up the same path. And then where? It's this way, I think. So we would want to go underneath here. Maybe I should get rid of some of these rocks. So I've got like 1 million obelisks. Because my military factory was running for weeks, basically. So I want to come this way, I think. In fact, I think all of the trucks need to go this way now. So come this way. So I tried to use the coal as like a guide as well. So I think maybe if we get rid of these rocks here, just in case. Plus I quite like blowing up the rocks. It's quite fun. So a path that follows that. We're going to have to avoid this. Pick up wood. Huh. It's so long since I did anything in the grassland. Yeah, this could be tricky. I can see that launching vehicles into the air. Let's novelist these trees out of the way. Cool. It's a big thumpy, big meaty bang. Yeah, so it's a case of sort of following them, but trying to avoid getting too close to anything else. Except that here I want to go on this side, don't I? Okay. So when we get to this grey bit, or grass, scrubby bit, we need to be on the right of that. And you see, this is the second one. So they're all hooked up and ready to go. Oh, like an idiot, I put that in there, didn't I? And in fact, I shouldn't have. Why have I got an inventory so full of stuff? I guess it's also a good test of whether, 100 coal will actually do it. And then it's just a case of coming back again. So we can go this way to try and avoid crashing into trucks coming the other way. Maybe round. Oh, that might be a bit tricky. So what does that? Yeah.
Breaking news from Earth. Yeah. Widespread chaos and mayhem. World President urges all citizens to do their part and
if we get
alien artifacts.
Shush. Get rid of them. Then we come closer.
Comply.
It seems to not spawn things now. I don't know what they've done in terms
I
of...
strongly advise you to harvest this specimen.
Because I should be being hit by hogs and all sorts now. Because, I mean, I do have structures nearby, but not that near.
Harvest.
Yes, okay. Yes, yes. So I think if I get rid of these as well. I'm using the novelist because as I understand it, and this could just be false, you know, correlation. If you use the novelists, they don't respawn. Whereas if you chainsaw them, they do. So I want to be coming around here, basically. Okay, so let's see if we can give this one a go. See what happens. Also, it'd be worth seeing, is that truck still running? Yeah, it looks like it's still running. Keep on running. We'll say it's still running. It's doing interesting things in the course of pathfinding. I shouldn't... it must be an incredibly hard thing to do. Get right, you know. Right, so... let's see if I can't... No, didn't want to drive it. I wanted to do this. Put the coal in. And see if we can do a journey on the coal. Shall we wait to see this other one come round? Or just attempt to... avoid it? I can't tell where it is. It's not... I don't think it's showing it because it's so far away. Oh, it's just coming back now. So we wanted to basically go where that truck is and follow the coal belt, basically. So if we let it, I'm gonna have to do a second route because I can't see how this is gonna work. Especially not with like multiple trucks on, because we need absolutely loads of limestone. It's like I've actually overclocked them all to 200, and I think it's only just enough limestone. So you're coming up here. So I think I could probably set off now. Start recording. Probably doesn't help that I'm not the best at driving the vehicle. Let's go, because it didn't seem to mind this. So let's see if we can go around here again and try and stay out of the path of the oncoming vehicles. Go more this way this time. I've actually crossed over, haven't I? That's not good. Oh, and I'm right where the vehicles will be coming. I've actually done it as a figure of 8. That's not sensible at all. And I'm going to have to do the same thing here. Just I mean, it's really tricky to think, get a path. I suppose it's more intended just for one vehicle? Maybe? So let's see if we can... F to load cargo. The loading thing, I think, it's because that I'm fooled by that animation. This is the vehicle loading up, I think. It is the bar, basically. I mean, it won't hurt to have a longer load time. So, journey back. I said we were going to go around the outside here, but then come back here. Yeah, I'm going to have trucks crossing themselves all over, aren't I? And I've literally driven exactly the wrong place. And now I'm crossing over again. Let's at least stay on the outside here, like this other truck. What I'm wondering, there's got to be a viable solution for trucks, hasn't there? I mean, it's got to be some way of doing it. I don't know. Okay, so let's do the unload there. Loading and unloading is quite slow as well. You see, it stopped the recording. So that's limestone 02. So if I... No. Well, I want to change that to like... Was it 10 seconds? I wanted to check this. Because it did actually load up, didn't it? So actually, 15 coal was what it burnt getting there back to here. So that's double. So that's 30. It's going to be quite tight, isn't it? Okay, we'll have to see. Right, so I need to hop back in. I need to enable autopilot. Hop out. And off she goes. Ish. No? Wow, brilliant. I guess it did that one first. That was because I did the crap turn, I think. So, I mean, what I really want to do is not just delete it, but move it. I want to be able to drag this over to here. So that it attempts to get onto that. Or drag it over to here, you know. But my only option is to either delete it or like re-record it again. Okay. Next one then. Yeah. Okay. So where are we going this time? This time we are... This time we're going the same basic route. Because I did wonder, could I take this other one over this way? Would this work? This route? Because this sort of goes up here. Because that one, there's one over here by the, what needs to become the plate factory. Oh, there's a lake there. So that route might work for that one. Would it also work for this one? Whoops. Could I come up this bit? So if I was to go here, would this work? Of course, I'm going to have so many trucks crossing over each other. No, because there's this, like, lump here, isn't there? Well, we could come round... Oh, that's uranium. We come round here. Go up here. If I just clear out a few noble lisks. Okay. So if I try and come up this way, right side of this sort of tree, go over this way, just keep going straight, keep going straight, keep going straight. Then we got a load of rocks here, which I can either use... Where's that mining thing? Yeah, I can use these as a navigation point. So we want to go on the left, on the right side of these. Head towards this bit of scrubland. Go through here. In fact, we probably want both of them coming this way, don't we? But this one, it's such a long journey. It needs to go all this way. Head towards the arch. Pick up the power lines, I think. Come all this way. I can't see this being done on 100 coal. Because coal's like the worst fuel. We're not even there yet. It's a case of following the power lines, I think. This, I did clear this out. But that's the coal on top there. Again, it's a pure coal node. It's got 2 pure coal nodes. Oh, right. This might be a little tricky. Because I'm going to have to avoid like crashing off of this. But then we go down here. This was the ramp I built to try and help out with the climbing. It's also useful to see if it has actually worked, because I haven't checked that I did hook everything else up properly. So that's the limestone for that one. Go around this way and back again. Like so. So it should be able to climb that, because it's just the same angle as the other one. But I think I'm going to clear some of this. Oops. I think. I don't know if it's my imagination that... Oops. Didn't mean to do that. But the nobelisks completely clear it and it doesn't respawn. But if you chainsaw it, it does, from my perception. I think maybe if I get rid of this one, like so. Come this way. Maybe I should get rid of some of these. I'm mostly running low, but it's like 200 in there. The exploded. Come this way. We could go around. No. Too close to the other one. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to keep like practicing them. Well, we'll see how it works, but I might have to just keep practicing the journey. What a pain. I have to confess that I don't know how else you would do it. You know, other than the path recording. Not in a first person, you know, game. So was there a nice path up here? Not a nice path, but certainly a path. There was, wasn't there? But it was close, staying close to the trees on the right. Okay. So try and come up that bit. Whoa! Very cool. Truck's trying to kill me now. Trucks are trying to kill me. I put one of the clips live. I've been wondering about going through some of the things because one of the tips they give you with like Twitch and stuff is to do the clips. I never really bothered because I don't know that I've ever really watched too many of them. Just maybe on one, but I don't know. I think people. It's part of this whole thing that you're meant to have like you're meant to use Instagram and all this type of stuff. But I can barely use Twitter, let alone Instagrams and TokTiks and all this sort of stuff. Right, start recording. Hopefully the snow truck's coming. That was a better exit. Hopefully it shouldn't crash too badly now. And again, if I follow this. I'm not completely wedded to this, I gotta say. It's like in the desert. I think I'm gonna wait. Don't know. Bad route. Bad route. Oh dear. I was going way too fast there. To be able to do the corner. Right, so if we go this way, try and stay out of the way. You know what I mean? It's almost crashing into the thingy. So if we head over here, which route was I going to go? It was going to be this way, I think. Try and stay out of the way of that other path. Maybe nip through this little gap here. So we're only down to 87 coal. So long as this stays below 50, we should be okay. So I need to be careful with this, don't I? Yeah, we're well above 50. Let's see if we can't get around the corner. Stop there. Load. I think essentially I'm using this at the wrong point. I think you're meant to do trucks as like a step up, or like a alternate to belts when you can't make lots of belts effectively. So at the point where you're kind of not really producing a lot. I think vehicles are possibly a, if not viable option, reasonable option for moving, sort of reasonable amounts of stuff around. So sort of and trains are the sort of solution I should be using at this point, given where I am in the game. And if we should go this way, so I stay at the route of the truck. I'm not going to add the second truck today. I kind of just want to see if single truck works. But I don't know what I don't know what they do. I mean, I imagine what happens is the whole magic hand comes into play. I'm way too close to that. They're about to crash into that sandwall and starts moving them out of the way, because I've literally driven over the top of the same route. So two trucks are just going to, bash into each other on this route. And again, I've done this as a figure of 8, haven't I? So there's a proper crossing point. Look at all the arrows on the thing behind me. I suppose one of the solutions they could do is a bit like how they've done, like harbours in that Factorio mod and boats, where it's effectively like a train track that doesn't exist. Oops, sorry. You know, it's like a nominal train track that's completely free and do it. So if you could lay down a route like a train track, and it didn't cost you anything, and you can add signals to it even, maybe. I think that would be the proper solution, really. So, if we do... What do I want to do? So I want to edit... No. I'm trying to edit... No. I'm trying to edit... Okay, wait, let me do it with it there. So if I... limestone 03. Save. And I want to enable autopilot. Get it out. Now I can edit this. Make that say 10 seconds. Did I? I think I only made this one 5, didn't I? Let's make them all 10. So, last one. I know, looks like I haven't got any fuel, have I? So, oh wow. He's having fun anyway, mounting this rock. So, I mean, it's just so rubbish. It should actually operate better when I'm not here, because they become theoretical trucks rather than actual trucks. So, I guess we want to follow the same route as this other truck, going up here, across this thing by the tree there. But then where do we want to head left? That's the question. Because we need to head left to get to this one. I think we have to do it this side of this, like, rocky outcrop. So we come, again, using that bit of scrub land. Is that right? Because it's here, yeah. So I'm going to have to come round, avoid the poison. Although we could go the other way, so I could come in and use this as the entrance. And then leave that way. I think that's probably going to be easier. Or is it? That's quite a sharp turn to make it round. Okay. Get rid of this rock. And do I want to get rid of these as well? Okay, so that's a bit clearer from that point of view. I think I want to get rid of these as well, to be honest with you. I'm going to go this way. I'll actually drive this way. Is that enough? No. I need to get rid of this one. That'll be okay. I don't think it actually blows these up. Which I assume is a deliberate thing. As I say, if you blow things up, I believe they're permanently gone. Well, until they update them, you know, do an update. Oh, look, rain as well. They've added rain. I didn't think they were actually going to do that for this update, but they have added it. It's quite cool as well. It doesn't really appear to do anything. It's entirely cosmetic. Oh, look. Trucks arguing with each other. Brilliant. This is going so well. Yeah. Yeah. They're also going green, some of them, as they get a little bit of limestone. So it appears I might have hooked things up almost okay, maybe. I didn't grab the coal, did I? Idiot. Nuts. Autosave. I didn't grab the coal. So if I grab it out, this one that's coming up here. Yeah, so it sort of adds it's like a bit, makes it look like a bit like the coated concrete, but you can actually see a sort of shimmery effect on it where it's got rain, and it is different. So it's like a. I don't know if you can see that on the stream. So if I get in here. Oh, you're not gonna. Yeah, you're gonna run out of fuel, lad. But it won't let me, because I got no inventory room. It won't let me split it. Hang on. Let's put something random in here. The quartz, and then I can split that, and I can put that in there. Put this in here. There we go. So hopefully 40 is enough. We only have to get over there and then it'll fill us up properly. Right, so start recording. So yeah, I think they'll behave better when I'm not here. It really is a tight corner, that one, because say they become theoretical nominal trucks. They're not really there doing physics. They're just sort of being whoops. Okay, now there's a rock to remove. That's why I've been removing the rocks, to avoid that sort of stuff. So here we want to go this way, don't we? And for this one I was going to do this. Oh, hello, do you have a turn? Hiya, did you know you could automate trucks? Yes, I know, I'm setting the routes. Unless there's some secret way you're going to tell me about... that you can manually set, that you can draw the routes on the map or something. But I haven't seen any reference to that. Yeah, I'm just recording the routes now. Welcome back. How are you doing? Hope you've had a good day. Right, let's head off. Yeah, so the rain looks pretty and stuff. Quite like the atmosphere to it, but it didn't really appear to do anything. Doesn't make surfaces slippy or anything like that. Oh, I've gone the wrong way. Nuts. Okay. That's not good. Right. Yeah, this is just a catastrophe waiting to happen with this here. Oh, and I've hit that wrong angle as well. Oh dear. Yeah, I think my suggestion, as someone who hasn't done any goading in about a decade, would be to they need to do it more like the trains, that you can set a route by laying down a path for them with signals on it and that sort of thing. I think that would be the way to go. A bit like the path that's there, but make it an actual editable thing, and lay downable thing. Is that all I want to do? Yes. So why is it not? There we go. So get back in. If I try and save the route, limestone. Or I mean, unless this route is editable, unless there's some way of getting into the code effectively, and you know, actually fiddling with that route, like give it new coordinates or something. Might be something the map editor website, maybe you could do it there. Don't know. Right, so yes, these all need to be like level 7. I keep saying level 7. Level whatever it is. Level 5 conveyors. How much have I got on there? I've got 500's worth. Okay. So I should at least be able to upgrade these. Oops. Oh, does it not keep the colour? Oh, that's annoying. Right, so so I don't think I've got enough aluminium on me to really do this. We could do like 1 or 2 of them maybe. It's mostly all back at... In fact, does that count as upgraded then? No, I don't think that does it? Oh, right, so you have to do both ends. Okay. Yeah, that needs to become level 5. Like that. And then level 5 here. I can't actually remember how far down I have to go. It's almost certainly used up. So each machine is like using... It's like 15 a second? No. 15 a minute. So there's 5 machines. Yeah, so probably go down to half that. We're going to have a look anyway. And I could probably step the belt down. Yeah, it's a real spaghetti mess under here. But it's all going to be hidden, so that I don't mind. Oops. Okay. So it's looping back on itself. Okay. And then... if we try it with that belt. Nope, wrong one. I've not got very much of that either. I'd quite like to just get like some of them working. So where's that coming from? Whoa, hang on. Why is that only coming up very occasionally? Because there's a bit of belt. There's a bit of belt connecting that. Okay, let's go and tweak that. There's a bit of belt. Now, was it you I did? I did all of them. Yeah, this bit of belt needs doing as well. Do that. There we go. So, which is the one I've connected up? It's this one, isn't it? So that's all chunking along nice and quick. What about you? You're getting stuttery. Hopefully means the machines are all being fed. There's stuff on all that belt. Cool, okay. Oh, of course, this will just be really slow as well, won't it? But it's like a third then, because it's a 3-to-1 recipe. Okay, thank you. Be way more happier once work project is done. Work as a Python developer, okay. Is it, I think you mentioned web development. Is it web development, you know, is that the sort of application, as it were, of the coding? So what level does the output need to be? So I suppose if it's going in, let's go up to the up top and just see that there's at least some machines. Oh, because I haven't copied it all in. I suppose you also actually you can say whether you're what you're actually working on. I get held under NDA for my projects as well. Huh, so they're not really getting enough limestone then, are they? Yeah, let's do the copy and paste of it so all the machines are at least set up. I think I might just fiddle with the aesthetics, to be honest with you, for the last hour, because oops. Because it might well be the case that I just need to go and get a load of aluminium for it to sort of work properly. And of course it can't. This factory can't work properly anyway because I'm not bringing the steel in. I ain't bringing no steel in. Okay. Well, they've all stacked up because they've not been doing anything. Anyway, I can at least upgrade these to level 5. I'm sure I've got enough aluminum to do that. Now that on there. How are we doing? So 225, okay. What if we can do all of that? Because this is the output, the other ones, because they're going to the trains. Mostly. There is the steel input, but that's somewhere else. So that needs to go 5. Is it? Oh yeah, that's the coming there. Sometimes do you assign a specific colour to each factory? That's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I've not done it here. I've not coloured all this in because this is all going to be hidden. This is just like a secret flaw, my secret shame, tabloid journalist style. But yeah, I've been using pink for limestone. And blue for iron, orange for copper, and was it lime green? I think I did for the steel, because I'm not that. How can I put it? I think I might. So when I, like for example, the aesthetics that Factoria series we were doing yesterday, I'm okay with like designs side of prettiness, but colour side, I'm not that great. So, or was it purple I did? The steel in it might have been the purple. So I'm basically just using the default set, but when I'm doing them, I'm doing, because you get this for the swatches, you have the sort of primary colour and the secondary colour, and I'm turning that to white so that my secondary colour for every factory is white, and it also helps me know which ones I've used. So it looks like I have used that somewhere. Was it? I thought I'd done the lime green. It doesn't matter, but oops, but yeah. That's a bit of belt being messed there, which is why that's not working. Yeah, trying to sort of colour code the factories. I say, and I guess I should really do with these as well, but it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Right, so I think that's all of the sort of input belt. It's just the connecting belt now that's not done. I say the output side needs boosting as well, I think, eventually. And that's the output. So I kind of generated this problem for myself because I basically put the trains in and the truck stations without regard to where everything was here. So what I should have done is either move the stations and truck stops, or rework this essentially. But my classic stubbornness kicked in. That's an output one. Did I do all of these? So that's all done. This one isn't. So where's that even coming from? Oh, I see. There's a belt there, isn't there? Okay. So is that already level 5? Yeah. There's a belt there. Oh, there we go. We're out of aluminium. I wonder how much I've got in the chest down here. But yeah, I'm sure more artistic people could come up with, or certainly people with a better colour sense could come up with some nice schemes, for themselves. I think a lot of people go with just plain white as well, because it does look quite good when the machines are all white. I say there's a weird element to this, that the aesthetic Factorio series and this one are sort of converging towards each other. So I'm sort of recreating a lot of the aesthetic Factorio. Where's these? I think I've just gone past it, haven't I? The same design elements essentially in the across the factories. So, oh, here we go. There they are. Couldn't find them. Can I get rid of some of this concrete, maybe? Let's put it in there. And then I can grab... Lost it again now. You can't colour these in. I wish I could colour these in, because that would make that a lot easier. Let me grab another one of them. Okay. We might actually be able to do all of the input side. Not so much the output side, I would guess. Why then no... Oh, that's output, isn't it? That's why. Oh no, that is input. I say I've made such a higgledy-piggledy mess on this. I'm sort of cheekily even... These belts are like clipping through the floor, but because it's, you know, wider. That's the wrong belt. Shallower than the floor type of thing. So the floor pieces are a metre thick, but these aren't a metre high with how I've clipped them, so I'm even hiding that. Oh right, I've got that going in there, have I? Okay. Vehicle deadlocks. 2 or more of your automated vehicles are deadlocked. Wow, okay. So that kind of answers that question then, doesn't it? That kind of answers that question. If I have to switch it all to a bus, I'm not actually doing it. So we can have some trucks doing one of the deliveries in the desert, and that'll keep me happy, I think, from using all of the mechanics perspective. And I got my funky roads in the desert as well, so... Right, so... How are we doing? Those are the outputs. Is that all hooked up? What is this? What is that belt? That is an output. Okay. An output for what? I bet that's output for encased beams. I think I might have hooked up all of the inputs. That can't be right. There must be some more. Wait. Ah, no, here we go. This isn't done. Where are you coming from? Oh, it's the top one. Okay. Come here. Right. So, this all needs doing then, doesn't it? So that needs doing, that needs doing. So that needs to be level with that one. Let me go back to that. Is that all done? Right, so we can go that one, there. Okay, and then back to this. And then you. Okay. Now how are we doing? That must be it, because that's it going to the... whatchamacallits? Encased beam machines. Cool, okay. This is like an excess overflow. I'm actually doing it so that concrete is only going to the train once there's been an attempt to use it here. Because I'm making more than I need for all of these machines. If we do this, we can check I've at least hooked them up. Done. Because they should all then get some concrete in them. Did that say 392? Wow. Okay. They obviously stack up quite a lot in the manifold, in the storage, don't they? Yeah, they all seem to be Getting a bit of concrete. Just do a random few. Cool, okay. Now, this deadlock. What's all that about then? Well, I know what it's about. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. But how are they deadlocked? Because... I'll just do that. Oh, does it? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Well, it was a nice theory. But in practice, this isn't worked, is it? I mean, it would help if I was a better driver. Because this is where I've overshot. And it's shot out here. I mean, what I could try and do is edit the routes and delete some of these nodes. But I don't know what it'll do in terms of cutting the corner then. Because, for example, that one's a bit far over, so we could get rid of that one. Say, it could then attempt to go, say, from this node to this node. Because they're not colour-coded, is the other thing. I can't tell which is which now. Yeah, I need to take them round this way. Pop them through this gap here. Because then I can try and avoid... Because it's not too... I mean, they're not, you know, they're not overlapping in the same way here. Obviously, again, terrible at driving in some cases, but here they're literally... Because what they try and do is they try and do it at maximum speed, basically, as fast as they can. So that's why they're sort of overshooting. Because they're trying to, you know, go pedal to the metal. Okay. Okay. Let's fill about with some cosmetic stuff. Great that you said that this is update 6 experimental, so how is it running for you? In terms of performance, fine. I've not had any... yes, but this is experimental. I've not had any performance issues. I've not seen anything in terms of it struggling, you know, with this version of the game, or, you know, my GPU's not exploded or anything like that. It is very buggy though, so I have had it crash for the first time. Oh, okay. Which I've never had before. I've never had it crash on me. Particularly, it is in menus in particular. So in particular, like when I was doing the trucks, you're supposed to be able to press E key to exit out of any menu, and it sometimes doesn't work. I'm not surprised in a sense by that. And I'm not bothered. It doesn't. I'd rather it didn't crash on stream, sort of thing. But I'm not actually. I'm used to experimental games and stuff. I'm not, you know, complaining about that as such. It's a little surprising from a point of view of every update previously. It's not been that problematic, so it felt a little bit to me like it's perhaps been rushed just to hit the date. I don't mean that in a bad way. You know, it's an early access game. playing it, any version of it, you are signing up to problems, and you're effectively a beta tester basically. I say I'm not actually that bothered about it. It's just, to me, it's more interesting from point of view. I think they're changing, or it's sort of confirmation that they're changing how they do updates and stuff, and it's sort of more confirmation that they're trying to get the game done probably by the end of this year. So I think we'll see quite a lot of. In fact, what I'm essentially saying is, I don't think update 6 is update 6. I think it's update sort of 5.9. There's a lot of work that they still need to do to make it proper update 6. Which I say, I'm not, that's not a complaint. That's not a criticism as such. It's just, if you're sort of worried about any of those sorts of aspects, then probably hold fire with updating it. So I think major separate road in and out for trucks. Yeah, so what I need to do is go round a different route. So there we go. They've deadlocked again. Deadlocked again. I'm just going to leave. I mean, this factory is almost like a test anyway, because the trains aren't hooked up, so that all the stuff that's being made here isn't going anywhere. It's a bit unfortunate, this. It's a bit sort of... It's a glass floor, but it's like really shiny to the extent that you can't sort of see through it a lot of the time. Yeah, it's just very, very shiny. Right, so I think that's all fine there. Can I pick up this stuff? And I was working on these as well. So we need to add this in. Like this. To, is it here? Yeah, so there. This one here. Come on. But yeah, I mean, I'm not been. Maybe it'll be better when you're playing it through the first time, sort of thing. But I'm not sort of massively bowled over by the, increased ammo types. The problem. I mean, I don't know how to put it. It's like combat could have done with a rework from the enemy point of view as well, because the combat's not actually hard in this game, and I don't think I'd want it to become hard, but it's like having, nukes and stuff. It's kind of pointless. I mean, Factorio, element. I mean, this is meant to be 3D Factorio, but there's an element in all of the things they do that they're sort of copying them. So obviously in Factorio you've got nuclear bombs and nuclear rockets and, however you want to phrase it. Oh, I haven't done the end one now. So they're sort of copying that. And it's like they've added cluster grenades. Well, Factorio adds cluster grenades and all that sort of stuff. I'm saying, again, that's not meant as criticism, but it's like in Factorio you need them because the biters will just eat your face off. You need, particularly late game, they have an evolution factor, so they get harder. So having nukes is... I mean, I don't tend to use them now because of how they made it scar the map, but yeah, it's sort of like... you upgrade your combat in order to deal with the more difficult biters, but in this game there isn't. There's just the one level for the enemies, and maybe that's coming, but I've got so much regular ammo that getting turbo ammo and all this sort of stuff is like irrelevant. And the hitboxes are so generous, in particular, that there's like a homing ammo, which would be really useful if you're sort of rubbish at the combat. But the hitboxes are so generous on the enemies that you can just basically fire in their vague general direction, and you hit what you're aiming at. Well, you hit them basically. It's not hard. I think it would be annoying if they made it harder combat-wise, especially when you may want to focus on building. Yeah, so I mean, they did mention in one of the videos that they are going to do a peaceful mode, so you could turn it all off anyway. And yeah, I don't think they. So I sort of mean that more from a point of view of it didn't need nukes and cluster grenades and all this sort of stuff. You know, I guess if people really want to play with them, then they've got those options, but it just doesn't. It's sort of tools to make combat easier, but combat's already easy. And as like you say, I don't think I'd want them to make it hard. That's what she said, or didn't say. But yeah, sort of. It's fine, but I'd much rather there was a massive just like we've seen, massive update on the trucks to make them not rubbish. Rather than adding pointless cluster grenades. Is that angle right? So I've matched it up with the centre thingy. Cool, okay. So now, whoops, go on, okay. Now, so yeah, I'll have to repath all the trucks. But again, I say that's sort of my point. To redo the trucks, I'm going to have to re-record all of those routes. I can't, there's no way for me to just edit the route. With the, or the only edit I can do is just delete nodes. But I can't add extra nodes in, so I can't delete them and say, right, well instead of going there, these go here. I say, given they've got this is sort of relevant because you can actually connect these like that. So I could just power them all once, but say it looks a bit more attractive, I think, if these actually poke out the end. That's all done. Okay. Think. I suppose they have mentioned need an extra pair of hands, it seems. Yeah. They have mentioned that there are meant to be other, because in one of the very first trailer of Satisfactory, there was like a crab enemy in like I guess what would have been Spire Coast back then. Almost like a boss enemy. So maybe if they introduce those, there'd be a use for the, for the higher level gear. I've got room to carry on, that's fine. Oh, I have. So there we go, my little viewing platform. I think it looks quite funky. This is where like human access will be eventually, but I need to decide whether I'm doing hypertubes or what have you. Would have been more spectacular if this was like shorter factory, essentially. Right, so walls/windows. I think I'm just going to leave it as like a solid glass pane rather than mess about with putting angled concrete blocks on it or anything. Did that? No, it's okay. Right, so well, looks nice. Thank you. I think so. I mean, there's oh, what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. It's not a very catchy name. There's someone on YouTube who does the most amazing looking factories. How can they be deadlocked now if they were deadlocked before? You're not telling me they're deadlocked and then just sorting them out, are you? But yeah, he does the most amazing looking factories. And it's because he improvises things and sort of makes them look like other things, if that makes sense. So he takes the sort of relatively limited tool set and kind of fakes things, if that makes sense. It's difficult to explain without sort of seeing them. So it's nowhere near at his standard. But I think an easy way of getting it to look nice is firstly hide things, like I've done with the belt spaghetti. But also then just go for simple, because simple always looks pretty attractive, I think. You know, so these are all just regularly placed machines, and I've just gone with a single colour. I've messed this up, which is why I'm fixing it. Single colour for the, for the entire factory, and so I think that's a easy-ish way of getting relatively nice-looking stuff. Why does that feel like that's been missed? So they're deadlocked again. As I say, how can they keep being deadlocked again if they're already deadlocked? So if that's there... Oh, have I put them at different... Oh, I have, haven't I? Okay. Somebody very... Niagara Falls, yes, yeah. It's kind of what I was going for. It's sort of... trying to get it. Unfortunately, you can sort of see, like, in the, as it were, the edge of the game. But say, what I was trying... The effect I was trying to have this be, like... The factory, if the factory was like closer to the falls, effectively, then it'd be more awesome from more angles. But I think this works really well because I could put some of these, not that one, patterns that people do, where they overlap the, the concrete onto the things and create triangular shapes and stuff, but I think given the view, I think we'll stay with that. Yeah, because it would have been nice if this, like, viewing platform, you could maybe see part of the falls. They're deadlocked again. Again, how can they be deadlocked if they're already deadlocked? Unless it's just repeating the same message. Okay, the next little bit would be, and again, I think that's quite an awesome view. So those are the deadlocked vehicles, aren't they? It must just be repeating the same message, I think. Cool. Okay, so I guess next order of business is probably the front. Now, am I going to have that big glass as well? Because I'm not planning on having a viewing platform here. I think it'd be a shame to just be a solid block of concrete. I guess we could just fiddle about with the thing here. So I love these last floor things, but what I was hoping for is that the light would come flooding in from the the things, the skylights. But the glass is so reflective that you can't really tell. So I did try. I mean, what I could. I mean, another. The problem is, if I take these out, well, let's just do. So if I take out the well, I mean, this is where I'm replacing the concrete, basically. So if I take all of this out, no, leave the light, please. No, just the concrete, please. Can you take that out? Come on. Problem is, these look like they float, basically. I don't mind having this going over. I think that looks quite good, beam going across. I was hoping what I could do, actually, was have like vertical ones. Like that. But the problem is, they don't interact very well with the roof. They sort of half go through it. Because you can see it poking out the other side and it looks rubbish. Not that I'm going to be on the roof a lot. So, I could have like another, like a beam here to make it look like it's holding the lights. So we could have one here maybe. Going across like that. That's too low down, isn't it? Why is that not? Like going through like that. Those vehicles are deadlocked again. It's very insistent on me knowing that those vehicles are deadlocked. I mean, how does that look? Can you get to there maybe? Well, the clipping doesn't look too bad, does it? But then what's that supported by? I'd rather it was attached to this. Can I not get it to do that? Come on. So I put it there. It's actually floating above it. I'm sure there's ways of getting it to clip to the right thing. What made me get into streaming? Those vehicles are deadlocked again. Let's go have a quick look. Combination of things, really. I mean, part of it was the pandemic, basically. I was spending a lot of time essentially just gaming, with the inability to... So not very few of my friends are gamers. It's just not something they generally do, and those that are, they basically play things like, Call of Duty Warzone and things like that, which I don't, I like those games. I'm nothing against them as such, but I tend to do stuff like this, so I was basically playing them on my own sort of thing. But it must be just keep telling me that it must be the same one over and over, I think. It's also something. So I tried to do YouTube basically. So I tried to do YouTube videos, and got absolutely nobody watched. I mean, not many people watch on YouTube now anyway, but nobody watched. And it's a bit demoralising to make. It's going to smash me out of the way, is it? Okay. To make YouTube videos and sort of have nobody watch. And I had watched a few streamers as well. I'm not that big into streaming, if I'm totally honest. Watched a few streamers, seemed like fun. And it was sort of a way of doing content, without... So effectively, putting stuff on my YouTube channel without having to... So stepping back again. Basically, I found editing to be incredibly tedious. That was the real problem. So I was making these YouTube videos, and no one was watching. And then I was... What the heck is that? Oh! How are there random bits of concrete? How bizarre. How bizarre. Yeah, so I was sort of making these videos, and it was taking all day, literally all day, starting at sort of 9 o'clock and going till 4 o'clock or whatever, to make a YouTube video, because of the editing. And that's a combination of the fact that turns out I'm not very good at it, which was... Because when I started the YouTube, that was kind of what I was hoping, that I would discover that actually editing was for me, it felt like something I would enjoy. And it turned out like almost the opposite. Because it took so long, and just, even doing very simple things was so tedious that I just didn't enjoy it. As it turns out, a big part of that is because I was working with 4K video, and 4K video is just horrendous to edit. And also I didn't have the skills, didn't know what I was doing. So it got a bit demoralising. Making videos, nobody watching them, and then basically taking an entire Saturday to edit, and nobody watches. Now, as it happens, I've sort of since learned a lot of things I was doing wrong, in terms of making video content, and the type of stuff I was making. I shouldn't have been expecting anyone to watch, because it wasn't really sort of worth watching from that point of view. But yeah, so that was sort of... I was like, well, let's give streaming a go. And I tried it on YouTube, and nobody watched again. And I gave Twitch a go, and basically within a stream or two, people were watching and commenting and stuff. And it was like, well, let's just keep doing this then. And so I have no intention of becoming a content creator or anything like that. But if there's at least some people who've have me on as background and occasionally comment and all that sort of stuff, brilliant. I'm more than happy with that. Live on YouTube is difficult. Best to upload VOD videos after editing in Premiere Pro. Well, I don't edit these. I just put them straight up. And some people, I'm not doing it again with the intention of getting lots of views or anything. It's just a way of sort of putting stuff up, really. If I make another one of these, then I would quite like to go back to doing editing, especially now that, say, I've watched a few videos and sort of worked out how to do it a little bit better. And also I know, well, if I'm going to do 4K, I would need to upgrade. I'd need to do my PC upgrade I keep going on about. But even then, I don't think I'd want to work in 4K again. But yeah, so that was sort of the origin of it. As I say, I've just kept doing it because people like yourself, you know, pop by and say hello, and there's a few regulars and all that. I feel like, you know, I don't expect people to come back or anything. It's sort of, if they drop by, that's brilliant. It gives me an excuse. I mean, another part of it was, it turns out I talk a lot when I'm gaming, so I don't know about annoying my friends, but there was an element of, you know, if I'm going to be chattering anyway, then, you know, streaming's not a bad place to be doing it, as it were. So where have I lined that up with? Like that. I might make these a different colour, maybe, or maybe they're just black or something, rather than pink again. But yeah, so that's why I started doing it. So the VODs go up on YouTube, you know, anyway, sort of thing, and so I don't edit them. Because certainly wouldn't have time to do that as well. I also found, I'll be honest, I also found people are friendly. It's sort of, you sort of almost expect people to be, you know, nasty and stuff. And I don't know if it's the nature of the games I'm playing, or, you know, the fact that they're smaller games, or maybe it's just the fact that I'm, you know, generic white dude, as it were. That people don't have a go. But, yeah, I've been sort of impressed at how friendly people have been, really. I like Asmongold, but it's nice to hear, not to hear a streamer swear every minute. Alright. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't pretend I don't swear IRL. You know, I'm not sort of some super clean, you know, person in general. But I tend to feel, you know, it's sort of the nature of the games I play. If I played horror games, you know, and that sort of thing, and there's almost, I did that clip the other day, and I almost did it just to check I didn't swear, because when the spiders attacked me, I screamed, and I could well have let out a bit of a, you know, a bit of a swear, but no, I sort of, you know, the nature of the games I play, as I say, it feels more appropriate to keep it relatively clean, and I don't, how can I put it? I tend to swear when I'm around people I know very well. So if I'm in normal, or, you know, not around friends, as it were, you know, close personal friends, then I try to keep it relatively clean, you know. Yeah, I wouldn't pretend I don't swear IRL. Also, I mean, you know, it broadens the audience, doesn't it? It means all sorts of people can pop in and be, as you say, not too afraid that I'm going to be effing and jeffing my my way through the stream. And again, so absolutely no problem with it. I'm not criticising it as such. The bit I struggle with is the non-game stuff. Talking about that, because I never know quite where to draw the line, because sort of in keeping with it being a family channel, as it were, I try not to, you know, talk about sort of politics and stuff too much, but occasionally there's something that will rankle me and I'll talk about that sort of stuff. But so it doesn't, again, it's more because of the nature of the game. It's not, you know, it's not the sort of game where, and the, you know, sort of genre I play in, yeah, they're not deep RPGs or anything like that. It's all about building a big factory, you know, which I suppose in some senses could be taken as being a political thing, maybe. But yeah, I tend to avoid that stuff if I can, not because it's not something I'm interested in, but just, you know, do people really want to come to a stream about Factoria and hear me banging on about, you know, Boris Johnson or whatever? Has annoyed me that week. No, missed. No, missed again. And again. How is that not in the middle? No, why is that not getting... So it needs to be here. So have you given Factoria much of a go yet, or are your mates still keeping you busy in V Rising? Would you duplicate Elon Musk's mega factory? I don't think you can in this game. I don't think you could hit the scale of that. Because it's fundamentally limited, this, unless you mod it in some way. Because there are a fixed number of resource nodes. I'm wondering maybe I'll put something here. Maybe I'll just have one bit of concrete or something, almost to hide the edge. Because it doesn't look very good, that. But yeah, I don't think you could in this. You can in Factorio. People have done insane numbers in Factorio. I don't know if you could in Dyson Sphere program. That would be quite a good one to try. Oh, wait, does Dyson Sphere have batteries? But you could turn an entire planet into a... No, I don't think it has batteries, does it? But an entire planet into a factory in that game. Join for a bit, then friends asked me to go over here to get more time during the weekend. So you're playing the... Because it has different modes, doesn't it? I assume you're playing, you know, one of the clan modes. Oh, crikey, it's 7 o'clock. Right. Got carried away. Yeah, I know it has, like, whatchamacallit, PvP and PvPvE, VPB. I always get all of that stuff mixed up, but I think there's some servers, aren't there, where you can, you know, fight other players, and some where it's sort of peaceful, basically. Am I playing? Yeah, Space Engineers. I haven't tried that either. I downloaded I might have said this yesterday when you were on, but downloaded Hard Space Shipbreaker, and I really want to try that. I just haven't had the time. So it's installed. I just haven't started it. So much as I love these games, and this one in particular, if I'm totally honest, the scale of them can get a bit over the top, and it just becomes... Let's say there's this sort of thing, you know, where... Oh, another deadlock. You know, that's fun. You know, it's in part of the nature of them. But when you sort of turn around and you think to yourself, hang on, I've just spent, you know, 20 hours playing this across the weekend. Oh, I'm out of themes anyway. I think I prefer this. I think maybe go a different colour with that, almost like an accent. Maybe just black or something. Oops. Don't know what I hit then. Oh, that looks much better. So I really like the glass floor, but it's so shiny. That looks much better, doesn't it? And there you go. You see it's clipped through. This is what it does with the architecture things. So I may need something to try and hide that a bit, because it just looks bizarre with it like that. That looks much better. Yeah, I like that. I'm kind of amazed these machines are still running. Have you not filled up? Unless have I got... Did I connect these? Oh, I might have connected these. Oh, that's got nothing in it. Oh, there we go. That's why it's still running. Because it's trying to fill the train. What's in here then? Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, some of these are empty because of the whole deadlock. Deadlock. We've hit deadlock. This wasted content. I suppose so, yeah. Although I have to play quite a lot of it offline as well, because I'm sort of aware that, you know, if I did all of the making of this factory on stream, it becomes a bit tedious, if I'm honest. I found that with the Megabase series in Factorio, where there's a lot of it is just like when I was clearing biters in that game. It's just days of clearing biters, and that's just not fun, and you know, to watch. And it's just, as I say, I sort of run out of things to say if there's nothing interesting going on in the game. And part of, you know, how I like to do the streams is to talk, as it were. Yeah, okay. So where is this deadlock now? Is it the same one? Because I can't see no trucks here. Where's the deadlock then? Because it does do a thing where it picks the trucks up and moves them. Watch, they're going to crash into each other. Oh no, it stopped. Huh. They weren't doing that over in the desert. Wow! Okay. Right. Bye. Wow. Yeah, okay. That blue thing, you see, it's like the hand of God comes in. And sort of fixes some of the things. That's it, trying to get back onto a path. Yeah, I think basically it needs to become a one-way, well, not essentially a one-way system, but not. I mean, this is obviously two-way, but Yeah, the trucks need to go through that gap, or that gap, wherever it is over there. And then they're not, at least not going to crash into each other. They're not going to deadlock each other. And I need to redo the routes so that they are proper circles. I'll have to clip that one. That was quite good. Right, yes, so it's 7 o'clock, so time for me to go. Let's pop up my schedule. There. So next week will be normal, I think. There was a threat that work was going to send me down to London. But it should all be okay. It all got sort of sorted out. There was a threat because it's the strikes this week, the rail strikes. And it's, well, is it Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday? There's like a skeleton train service. But yeah, I think that's all sorted and we're all doing it remotely now. So it should be okay for next week. And it should be exactly the same. So we'll pick up on Satisfactory. With this, I am thinking about starting aluminium. So starting yet another factory. It's not really. It's adding it on to the steel factory because I don't need much aluminium at all. And I discovered I was going to show it, but it's not on there. But in the swamp area, there's a cluster of 4 aluminium nodes, which are all, I think they're all pure, or one of them's pure. And it should give me everything I need. And it might be an excuse also to work out a new train network, a new way of doing trains, because I want the trains, basically with the aluminium, I want to pick it up, bauxite, I want to pick it up in the swamp with a elevated monorail. So I can work out a way of doing trains, and just putting all the resources into the train and just having it go back and forth between the aluminium factory, and then the actual aluminium I'll have going into the main system. But yeah, if we just do a local bauxite picking up train, then it should let me work out a way of doing a elevated rail track that looks okay. Which actually begs the question, am I going to do double-headed trains? I haven't here. I'll have to think about that. Saturday then will be more Crash Oreo 2. Take care. Thanks, take care. Thank God I went remote. Yeah, it's we've gone remote, well, sort of with the pandemic and stuff. So I've really been preferring it, to be honest with you. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, Deborah, Tian. Always good to chat. Yeah, so Saturday will be Crash Oreo 2. Basically, we need to keep scaling up so that we can do science, or put science into this thing, whatever it is, and we need to do that 10 times over. So we need lots more science to be happening. So there'll be a few streams left on that. I will then decide whether I'm going to do like Bobs or Angels, maybe. I was thinking about maybe doing the 248K mod, because that's a newer one, and I don't know how big it is, if I'm honest. But yes, I'm thinking about that. But Sunday then we will go back to the blueprint series, and I will be starting a test run of the blueprints. So I'll be trying them out and seeing if they work and where the errors are and what the bugs are and what I'm not producing enough of and what's too much and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, so that should be a good few streams out of that. And then back to Satisfactory on Monday. If you wanted to catch any of my stuff, so if you're watching on the VODs or you're just catching the end of this, there's obviously my Twitch channel there, Trismegistus. I put all of the VODs up on my YouTube channel, which is Trismegistus, but it's alias to Triggles, so I think that's a bit easy to say. So search for either of those. Twitter, of course, is exactly the same. If you wanted to follow me there. I basically just post when I'm going live. There's also the Discord. The Discord is intended to try and set up some multiplayer. With the fact that I'm looking for a new job and all sorts of stuff, I don't have a lot of time at the moment, but certainly that's what I'm intending it for. Possibly doing some of the streams as multiplayer, so possibly, you know, switching out the Monday Satisfactory or something and doing it as a multiplayer maybe. But yeah, I need to think about that, not least of all because, as we were mentioning, I try and keep the channel family friendly. So if I was to do Discord and people were swearing, you know, like Billy O, then might be a bit problematic. So I need to think about that one. But also just generally interested in doing multiplayer as and when. So yeah, so that's it for me for today. If you've been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Satisfactory. Thanks for watching. Cheers.